day and hello. My name is Brian. Today I want to discuss two words which has sort of been on my mind, partially related to, well, I put up the videos and it's like, why I haven't heard much back, because most people I'm pretty sure have seen the videos are mostly local people, you know, people that, because how else do they find the channel? And I'm pretty sure there might be a couple of random stumblers on here. But I was trying. It's basically the word in this case is two words: complaining and criticism. Complaining is mostly because I've been noticing the way certain people talk. Well, I do this actually how I start working through things is like, why do people say certain things in certain circumstances? And because I see a high volume of people on a daily basis, you know, I have a very short interaction period with them. So, you know, that's one reason why I sort of structure my initial talk to most people in such a way as to get different responses other than people's canned responses. You know, because, you know, if you do a standard routine, you're always going to get the standard routine back. If you have a slightly different routine, still within parameters, slightly different, you might have a couple, you know, longer pause on things, you know, more people thinking. You know, running through the routines going, okay, well, wait a second, what did you say? That's not what I expected, but it fits. Yeah. Well, one of the comments I've been getting a lot back is you know, I can't complain, or, well, not necessarily can't complain, but can't complain because no one would listen. And just hearing that got me thinking, is that doesn't really make sense, at least to me. It does and it doesn't. That's probably the best way to phrase it. One is because, for me, what is complaining? Complaining, for me, when I think about it, is someone says something in such a way that they're asking for help. Basically, they're stating a problem, and they're expecting a response back on how to work with that problem. You know, what should I do? That, to me, is what a complaint is. Of course, the best complaints, and this is one of the things that I see a tendency about sometimes, are the ones when you complain, you show exactly what you mean, the one little point that you're having a problem with, and not just saying a general thing like, oh, it's a shitty day, man. That's not complaining. That's whining. The reason I say that, it doesn't sound like whining because they don't have the high-pitched sound like most people associate with whining. But what is whining? Whining is the act of basically like complaining, but instead of wanting feedback, you're just doing it. You're not really expecting anyone to talk back or agree or disagree or anything else. You just, right? Versus complaining, where you're actually asking for feedback. You state the problem to the best way you can, so that person, one, can understand what you're talking about, but two, can also possibly offer a way to improve something, you know, show you like how to get out of that problem, maybe. So, can't complain, no one would listen. The point of complaining is you're expecting someone to answer, right? So, can't whine, no one would listen. That'd be a little bit more accurate, but it's the idea of, is anyone actually listening? Well, if I ask you a question, if I'm actually listening to you, that means I'm listening to you. So you can complain, I'm listening. Can't complain because no one would listen. Well, I am listening to you because I asked this question. So complain. And then I'll offer my 2 cents in such a way to, you know, explain. Like, well, this is what I see. I mean, maybe you don't see that. Or maybe I'll ask a few questions because it's like I don't see the problem or see what it could be. And that's very simple stuff. So, like I said, in some ways, when people say that, they're saying, like, I can't whine, no one's going to listen. Well, no, that's not even saying that. It's like, I want to complain, but I don't think anyone is going to listen. Well, I am listening because even to ask you these questions, there you go, I'm prompting it. It's not like the standard routine that most people do, though. You know, like you bump into someone. Hi, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. How are you? Fine. Then you break off. You know, there's end of conversation. Me, I actually, whenever someone enters wherever I'm actually, like, I work in the store. So whenever someone comes in, you know, as soon as the door dings, good morning and hello. Pause, you know, waiting for a response, because I want a response. And most people might say hi, or hello, or just give me a weird look like, whoa, what? Because whatever, they don't expect someone to actually greet them and actually be listening for a response. Or they might just give the same response of, oh, hi, well, how are you doing today? Fine, and you? Because that's sort of the response, usually. Well, I'm alive, awake, and doing well. Pause, and usually they'll, depending if they actually want to talk at this point, will continue conversation with me. Or, if they don't, they'll wander the store. But usually I also have a quick question after, like, do you need help with anything? Or how are you doing today? And just working from what they say, the responses to them actually listening to what they say. So, but because I actually work in a store, the interaction is usually very short. So I have I cut to things a lot quicker usually because of that. And sometimes I have to remind myself when I'm actually talking to people in a longer term conversation not to do that, because, well, like I said, I usually cut to it and point of, it's just basically to put that little, to think about things, a little bit. They may not remember me or even what I said or anything else, but usually I give them a little bit of an upbeat attitude for the rest of the day. And if nothing else. And that's the reason I do that. Second part to this is the idea of criticism. Because what is criticism? Criticism is feedback critiquing what you're doing. But critique can be both good and bad also. And criticism can be good and bad. The thing is, what's bad criticism? Then what's good criticism? Because it's feedback critiquing what you're doing. Saying, oh, this is this, this is this, this seems okay. This could have been done, well, it works, but it could have been done better this way. That's what criticism is. Now, the difference between bad criticism and good criticism, though, because that's exactly what criticism is. So some people say, that's bad criticism. Well, okay, so what is bad criticism? Usually it's a really simple, not as intelligent thing, meaning they're not actually looking how to improve what you did. They're just saying, oh, that sucks. Versus good criticism, where they try to tell you how to improve what you're doing, but they do it in such a way to also point out, well, why do they think it's better? Because that will help you understand why it could be better. Because you might just disagree with, why do you think that? Because you don't see why, from their perspective, they think this could have been better or not. And then from that, can they also be into discussions of, well, why you did this way, and show them, well, why you thought this was better. It does the same thing, maybe. Or, leads into discussion, leads into conversation. And part of it is also trying to understand and figure out, well, what works best in that situation, right? And there you go. And the whole point, like I said, is the idea of complaining is to ask for feedback. Well, what's the feedback that works best? The idea of criticism in some ways, but not literally criticism. Because the other problem that people think of usually when they have criticism is it's very short. No. That's the whole point. Because it's the process is criticism. Critiquing, working back through the discussion, but the thing is, it's not. The other thing that most people forget about criticism, the other strong association people have, is it's not a conversational thing. It's a soliloquy for some people. And for some reason, it's in their head like, bam. They don't want to discuss it themselves. And that's part of the thing is, you critique it, the person's going to respond, you have to also go, okay, does that make sense? Don't just automatically go, oh, this is better, period. Why is it better? And then defend your position. Because the other person may not see that. And those two was complaint or complaining and criticism. And that was just, I have no idea why I even decided to do those two. Oh, I said that at the beginning. It's never been on my mind. Part of the reason they've been on my mind is I want critiques. I want criticism of all my YouTube videos. Whether you know me in person, come up and talk to me, or if you actually do comments or anything else I want them. Good, bad, or otherwise. Because the only way you can actually get better at doing something is by trying to do it. Have a beautiful day.